Oh, baby, baby.
Hello, welcome back to the Wolf Den for now until we come up with a better name for
Wolf.
outside.
Layer, wolf, Christmas light. I don't know.
No, until we come up with a better name. Technically, the Wolf Den is inside at the table.
We are once again out on our back patio.
I don't know. It's kind of nicer out here. I don't know.
Might keep it out here.
Maybe. I don't know.
Once the weather cools off,
Yeah.
during the day, it's kind of, and once Grandma's not so busy out here.
Right. And we're playing around with the lighting, see if we can figure that, because I can at least control that issue. I still have no idea why.
The audio keeps going out of
Yeah,
sync
if
once we post it.
well, actually, even before that, when I export it. So if I knew what that problem was, I could fix it.
If
But I don't.
any of you are of the technical
Savvy, inclined,
whatever, want to help us out, drop a comment.
That would be great. But I can control the lighting, and I kind of like this one.
You said what? Whatever.
Anyways, Wanna Wrestle.
Episode 4.
Yeah.
Wanna Wrestle. This is our, for those of you who don't know, this is our AEW reaction and review show. I was going to kind of keep some little bits of pieces of WWE also in it, but we're just going to make this AEW exclusive because why not? They need some love. They're a new company. They're doing so good.
Mm-hmm.
We can't stop watching, and we can't get enough of it. We're so happy watching this wrestling program as opposed to the other wrestling shows that are on, which you know which they are. Which 3 we're talking about. We don't even watch NXT.
Nah.
I tried. I tried to watch Great American Bash Part 2, I think.
Mm-hmm.
I watched like 2 matches. It took up the whole last half hour. Anyway, so this is AEW where we react and review to Dark, which is on Tuesday afternoons on YouTube.
YouTube channel.
And a little bit of, I watch Being the Elite, and then the main show, which is Dynamite, which is mostly on Wednesdays, but they have been, because of basketball, they're moving it around a little bit, which they did the same thing actually with WWE when it was on USA.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah, they had
except it was in So AEW's been interrupted by either and or basketball or football, whichever, right? WWE used to have USA used to move them to another night or actually not even show it that week because it was interfered with the dog show.
The dog?
Yes.
Bounty Hunter?
No, like dogs.
Like a dog.
What
show.
is it called? AKC, American Kennel Championships. And they wouldn't even show Raw they wouldn't even show Raw that week because it would interfere with the dog show.
So you said dog and I said bounty hunter. Now that theme's in my head.
By Ozzy Osbourne.
I'm the dog, the big bad dog.
Which would, if we were talking WWE, could go to Roman Reigns.
Yeah.
But anyway.
Dude, that's what I need.
Roman Reigns?
No, instead of big bad dog, big bad wolf. I'm the wolf. Big
little
bad
bit. See how our brains work? We have ADD for sure.
I definitely do.
Yeah, you were diagnosed.
I was diagnosed, tested, all that
fun
from
stuff. Me and your
mother. Hereditary.
Anyway, so we've got to do a double this week. Sorry, that's going to probably make the show a little long, but he's been busy, and when he's not busy, I'm ready and he's not ready.
Yeah.
So anyway, we're gonna go after. I've got my notes from Dark 51 and 52, and then Dynamite from this previous Wednesday and the Wednesday before that. So we're gonna go with my notes on Dark 51.
So I'm guessing 3 was All Out.
Yeah, that was our special.
So okay.
So Dark 51, the opener was a guy called Sean Legacy made a debut. But he went against the red hot now, Will Hobbs.
Yeah.
And Hobbs picked up the win on that, which is funny because Hobbs came out. I don't call them jobbers. I don't know. I just don't like calling them jobbers. Those guys on Dark that are brand new to the well, they're not new to the industry. been doing it for a few years. They're off the indie scene. They pull these guys in
Mhm.
and basically give them a shot. Here, show us what you got.
Yeah,
If they make a
right.
good enough impression,
Maybe you'll get signed.
yeah. And so Will Hobbs, I think, was 0-2,
Hmm.
and then he went into the Battle Royal, and then now he's just winning like crazy because they
Right.
love him.
Yeah.
I like him. I was kind of ragging on him being like a Keith Lee knockoff,
Right.
but
He's built similarly, although I think he looks shorter than Keith Lee.
yeah, yeah. Well, Keith Lee is bulkier. This dude
Hmm.
Hobbs is a little more jacked, but still got the belly on him.
Hmm.
But anyway, Hobbs picked up the win on that. Brian Cage. Do I even have to say he took on somebody and you know that
Yeah, but no, he took on.
that was Tony Donati on
Oh,
that episode?
that episode was Tony
Tony Donati, who's not bad. He's a solid worker guy.
Donati.
They keep bringing those guys back in because they can work with the upper tier talent
Hmm. Hmm.
and still put on a good show. Uh, and then we had the first 2 weeks in a row on Dark was Angelico wrestling solo,
Mm-hmm.
not John Solo or whatever that guy's name was,
Right.
but
And
Angelico,
Helico with the hybrid too, right?
yeah, from the
I
Hybrid 2 wrestling.
I wonder why the other guy's not wrestling.
I don't know. I don't know if he's injured or I do not know. But no, he's not injured because he was out there with him,
He's out there with him,
supporting him.
but
I
yeah.
didn't see any obvious knee braces or anything. But Angelico against Griff Garrison, who I also think is going to get called up
Hmm.
to Dynamite pretty soon because Griff Garrison's having some good showings. He's got the whole. I mean, now he's memorable because they make fun of him for looking like an older version of Jungle Boy,
Right.
Jungle Man, and all this. I
Yeah.
mean, even on Being the Elite,
Hmm.
uh, I forgot who it was. They brought him. Brody Lee brought him in and
Yeah.
thought he was Jungle Boy. And they're like, "That's not Jungle Boy." And he's like, "What? Get the hell out of here!" Uh, but Angelico picked up the win on Griff Garrison on that
Hmm.
episode. He had that weird submission. Um,
Oh, was it the? See, my mind is on one solid thing right now.
the dog theme song.
No.
Oh,
Well, now you brought that back, but no, it was on the Brian Cage's other opponent,
oh, but we'll get to that.
we'll
But
get to that because
no,
that was great. You
Angelico
should
had a
peel that label off.
well. Nobody, they can't see it. Nobody's gonna care.
Anyways,
Mm. And Helico had this weird, crazy submission. I don't remember what it was now. I should have. I don't even know if it had a name. And then now she's known as. She used to be the star of the show, but
hmm,
now Anna Jay of the Dark Order is the Queen Slayer because she choked out Brandi.
right,
So Anna Jay against Skyler Moore, who's pretty solid. I like Skyler Moore.
right. Skylar, yeah, it was pretty good. You know, the other thing is she took out Brandy and a J, but doesn't Charlotte Flair call herself the Queen? So
Yeah,
a little bit of digging,
maybe. I don't know,
maybe.
calling her the Queen Slayer. Well, and Brandy's so full of her character now is so full of herself. So
Right.
I can see her calling herself the Queen and her little action figure, little Brand. Anna Jay picked up the win over Skylar Moore, but Skylar Moore is solid. That's another one. I think they're going to really be able to build up their women's division now.
Mhm. Now, see, they're doing with Anna Jay what they need to be doing with the whole Dark Order. What crap? And that's all of them winning.
Yeah,
All
true.
because when you join the Dark Order, you're supposed to stop
Right.
losing, and sometimes they still lose.
But then that's hard to do with 3 tag teams.
Right, but I mean, look at Anna Jay. She's picking up her
But I mean,
wins.
if they all win, then the three tag teams of the Dark Order would take up
3 slots. So
3 slots in the top 5. I don't
your
know about
point
that.
is,
They got to give everybody else screen time. Then we had Eddie Kingston actually had a match.
oh
Eddie,
yeah, yeah,
Eddie
yeah.
Kingston against Lee Johnson,
Mm-hmm.
and Lee Johnson is formerly of MJF's campaign.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, Now he's back to losing in the ring because Kingston took a win.
Well, you figure, you gotta assume Kingston's
But
gonna win
yeah,
that one.
because swear to God, this dude is so gold on the mic. Oh, I still have it. I got to show that to you.
Oh, where he cuts the promo
He
on
got
a
a
cookie.
promo on a cookie. Uh, Sean Sapp was actually talking to Trent's mom about that
Hmm.
if she had seen that. I swear to God, this dude is so great that he cut a promo on a cookie, and it was fire. Anyway,
So lit that it was fire.
moving on. How about and Sunny Kiss against Serpentico.
I think I missed no, because Sunny Kiss did the thing from the
Mm-hmm.
middle rope and got rolled up.
Or something.
I think so.
He did the splits, the
Yeah,
nutcracker, whatever you want to call it.
dude, that's like
You know who used to do that?
no.
Uh, uh, Maria Kanellis.
It's a weird finisher because it doesn't seem that impactful, but like visually,
Right.
it's interesting to watch.
Yeah. So Sunny Kiss, he did pick up a win over Serpentico, but
Oh, okay.
Joey Janela wasn't there, and neither was Luther, which is like their tag partners.
Right.
So that's kind of weird. And then the headline. Oh yeah, Dark 51 is actually a shorter
Hmm.
episode. It only had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 matches when they usually have about 11.
Hmm.
So the headline match was Absolute Ricky Starks from Team Taz going against a guy named Ben Carter who made a debut. Was a good.
Ben Carter was giving him a run.
Yeah, it was. It was pretty solid. It wasn't a squash. It wasn't
No.
a squash at all. I keep leaning out of frame because I'm thirsty.
Yeah, I
And I have my trusty.
I keep mine. I decided just to keep
Have,
mine right
have
by
my
the chair.
trusty. Can't say the name of the
Water brand.
water brand.
It is water. We're drinking water. Uh, I just decided to keep mine on the chair.
I may do that. So then we're going to go to Dynamite from September 9th, which was last week.
Oh, but Ricky Starks
Oh.
he did the spear, which he didn't win with. He won with the Rochambeau, they call it.
Yeah, the Rochambeau, which is just a running power slam. But
Well, ish, because he like tilted him. I think. I'm trying to think of how it went
it's
down.
mostly a running power slam, which is what
Strowman.
Strowman used to use.
I think he still does. I don't
That bit, we were really impressed with Ben Carter. That's somebody that they will probably make more appearances on Dark, I think, because he's pretty solid.
I did like Ricky Stark. He's kind of growing on me.
Is he?
Yeah,
I'm telling you,
his
dude.
character not so much, but his in-ring talent is like undeniable.
When I saw him on NWA,
Mhm.
the first time he ever came out, he was pretty Ricky over
Mhm.
there. I did not like him until I saw him in the ring. I'm like, holy crap, this dude's a star. This
Yeah,
dude is a star, and it kind of sucks that he's left the NWA. I got the feels for Corgan because it looks like he's losing a lot of his roster.
yeah, but they need he can't run a show.
But the hope is because he's going to have this working relationship now with Tony Khan that he'll actually help build the show back up once
Right.
next year rolls around.
Unless Tony Khan
Because
pulls a Vince
and
and
it just like buys him or at least signs all of his talent because
yeah,
now they're talking about um, Thunder Rosa is making more appearances.
hmm
Somebody else from NWA. Well, Kingston got signed.
yeah.
So I don't know if they get Homicide, it's going to be nuts.
As far as I'm aware, though, Tony Khan is like the almost the exact opposite
Of Vince,
of Vince. So I don't see him pulling a move like
like
that.
power plays where he would just like decimate somebody else's roster.
Yeah.
Okay, so in the main program, last week's Dynamite, it started off with the Lucha Brothers against Jurassic Express,
Again, my favorite tag team, Jurassic Express.
and Jurassic Express picked up the win with what we got from I wrote it down because the name was so cool. The Slam Before Time
Yeah, the Slam Before Time. That's
from Luchasaurus. That's
yeah,
awesome.
which is great because there was the show and the movie Land Before Time about the
Yeah,
dinosaurs.
exactly. So the
The
Slam Before
Time, which is awesome. I hope they keep calling his kick the tail whip and not the
What did they?
shining lizard or something.
Shining Lizard, yeah.
Which is
And it's not because it's not a running.
yeah, it's not a
It's not a
shining
running
lizard.
kick. It's not a shining wizard. So if the tail whip is the best name for it.
Did you know that Miz used to do it and they call it the shining lizard?
Yeah.
Yeah.
For a while. Yeah. And then after that was Matt Hardy's apology promo,
Yeah, which was
which was after from
from All
the
Out.
fallout from All Out.
Yeah, and
See what I did?
and that was like a actual apology. No,
It was a shoot promo
yeah,
basically.
no like gimmicks. Matt wasn't switching between his personalities. Nobody
And
ran out and
uh,
attacked him.
Rebby was there, and their new baby, which I forgot the name already.
Yeah, no, it's not Ethan.
I don't remember,
I don't
but
know, but like he was actually apologizing and like
saying what he put his wife
went
through,
Yeah.
his kids, because Maxwell and the other one are older.
hmm
This is like their third kid.
Maxwell, his oldest son.
Yeah, he's 0-2 again, or he's 2-0 against Drake Maverick.
Right. He also didn't call him King Maxwell. Like, so he was being extremely sincere and honest.
He was being out of character for damn sure.
Yeah, nobody ran out. So it was actually a really refreshing.
And he
promo.
also said that because of his situation, I mean, he still likes mentoring Private Party,
Mhm.
but he kind of wants to focus on actually getting a title.
Yeah.
Which I kind of think plays into Tony Khan saying he's got plans for the FTW title.
Right.
I kind of think that's going to become like their version of the Intercontinental.
Mhm.
It's going to be like the lower, well, yeah, the world title, and then you've got the TNT title, which to me is just the TV title. And then I think the FTW is going to be like that. That's their United States
Right.
level. So I think Hardy, actually, I think that's going to be the first belt that Matt Hardy wins.
So, my thing to you is like the FTW belt. It's Taz's creation.
Mhm.
And every time he brings it out in a company, it's not formally recognized, but he says whoever has it is the most badass MFer
Right.
around, and so of course he gives it to Cage. So it has like that mystique of like, oh, it's never been recognized.
But Tony Khan says he had plans for it, so I
So-
think it's going to be recognized.
Right. Well, what I was saying is, does that take away like its mystique?
No.
Or
No, I don't think so.
does it add to it because now
Or
it's an official title, making
Well,
Cage an
okay.
official champion?
or okay, instead of I backtrack of what I said about it being the U.S. title.
Hmm.
What if it's a hardcore title?
Hmm.
Ooh. Because one of the things that about AEW is they have comedy wrestling. They have They've had some hardcore. I'm not saying every hardcore matches, but stuff that's unintentionally hardcore, like Omega and Mox
Mm-hmm.
in Vegas,
Right.
dude. So the street fight. I mean, so they could throw in some hardcore and have and that kind of fits in with FTW too,
anyways, yeah.
because it's an anti-attitude, or it's not an anti-attitude. It's an attitude title.
Right.
So I can see that. I think what's going to happen is that Tony Khan's going to make the announcement that it's a recognized title, and then make Cage defend it, and he's going to get his ass kicked, and he's going to lose it the first night.
Maybe not the first night.
Oh yeah,
come on, who takes
first defense.
Who takes on Cage that can?
Lance Archer.
Okay, well, you got me on that one.
Brodie Lee.
Yeah.
I mean, there's dudes that can do it. I think Matt Hardy could actually do it.
I disagree.
I think his experience
would. Yeah, but okay. Well,
he got Brian Cage.
Okay, we're going to make this video too long to talk about that. But anyways.
Okay, so then that was his shoot apology. Next was Angelico against Orange Cassidy. Do you remember that?
Yeah, and it was almost essentially a squash from
it was
Orange.
It was like the Cody
Brodie
match. It wasn't
Yeah.
necessarily a squash, but there was no offense, and Orange Cassidy kicked Angelico's ass.
Yeah, he did.
He did,
which is cool because they were like talking about it as this is the aftermath of him battling with Jericho so much, as that it's risen him to a new level.
Yeah,
but he's still like the slacker type character, but he just gets into it faster now.
And then maybe it was Angelico solo again. Maybe it's not that Jack Evans is hurt, but their tag division is so deep, they just don't have anything for them.
Yeah, they just need some singles.
Because remember, their creative is Jericho and Khan, basically.
Their creative?
Creative.
They're creative?
That's what they call it on Wrestle Talk, and it's somebody misspoke. Instead of saying creative, they screwed it up and said creative, and now they've ran with that. By the way, we love Wrestle Talk. Ollie, Mr. Davis, thank you, and corporate chopper.
Yeah, if I had a blazer, not cutting this luscious hair, but if I had a blazer.
I have my suit jacket. I almost wore it.
Yeah.
Proud and Powerful against the Best Friends announcement of the parking lot brawl.
Yeah, because because Santana Ortiz jumped Cassidy after his definitive win against Angelico, and so they challenged him to a street fight. Yeah,
which was coming up,
which was really good. But we'll talk about that in a little bit.
Also, I saw Angelico on Being the Elite. I actually heard him speak, and he's South African, so he's got a British-ish accent. Have you ever heard guys from South Africa speak?
No, but I imagine it sounds.
Uncle Waylon. Well, he didn't really have an accent though.
And Waylon was so long. But I mean, I would say I assume it would be like British with an African beat to it. No. Well, that sounds wrong, but like a cadence.
You'd have to hear him. But anyway, we got that announcement, which was cool. And then the introduction of not a best man,
but the
best man for Kip Sabian's upcoming wedding. His best man was the debuting of Miro, formerly Rusev.
Which you called that one?
Formerly Alexander Rusev.
Mm-hmm.
Do you remember that? He was actually called Alexander Rusev.
Yeah, but they dropped it because Vince didn't want to be called Alex as a heel.
Yeah, I thought it was too it's not a heel name,
right? But you had said, "Oh, I think it'll be Miro,"
because he didn't debut at All Out like everybody thought, and so a swerve. He brought him out, and I was right.
What do you think of the blonde hair?
I love it.
Yeah,
I love it. I love it. I think he looks cool like that, and he's got a new attitude. He's back to pre-Rusev Day. Rusev Day, he was a face, so he wasn't as serious and intimidating. But now that he's Miro, and he cut a really cool shoot promo on WWE, where he talked about
the brass ring.
Which I told you the story behind that, and I'll tell you guys if you don't know. A few years ago, 4 or 5 years ago, there was complaints about talent not being able to get over, and Vince was pretty much, well, that's your fault. And he said, if you really want to achieve if you really want to get over, you need to dig down, dig deep, and just reach out and try to capture the brass ring, which is an old saying about being successful. And apparently, there's a crime being committed.
Well, no, a crime has been committed in someone's
and there's a response,
or it's a crime in progress.
And so,
but it's definitely Code 3.
Yeah. For COVID-19?
No.
But anyway, so grabbing for the brass ring, and part of Miro's shoot promo was take the brass ring and shove it up your ass. Which is good as a dig, but not as good a dig as Brodie Lee had.
Yeah.
Brodie Lee's dig on Vince was way better. But also, Miro claimed to be held underneath the glass ceiling. Oh, and then I guess the response from that was Lana's getting buried.
Yeah,
over on SmackDown, SmackDown.
Yeah, sometimes we got to be careful what you say,
because what you do affects other people.
Unfortunate, it shouldn't, but they're so petty over there. They're counter booking and all of that.
Programming, counter booking, burying.
Taking something that AEW does, like the eye versus eye match, and then making it something bigger.
Yeah, with a fake eyeball.
Yeah, and so Lana's getting buried.
That's why we just don't care for WWE anymore.
Yeah,
they have some cool story stuff. I will put it in the other guys, but yeah.
But yeah, Miro is there. I'm not a fan of the blonde hair, but
well, then I guess on his Twitch, he said he had to go over to. He was talking about people that he met backstage, and he had to go over to Stu Grayson and go, "Sorry, I took your look." Because I
Yeah.
mean, Stu Grayson is bald on top, but he does have bleach blonde hair on
Mhm.
the sides and
Right.
his beard. So he had to apologize to Stu Grayson for stealing his look. That's funny. Uh, oh,
I am
um,
looking forward to him being in the ring though and
yeah. Who's the
wrestling.
first guy? I don't. Who do you want him to
Brian
face
Cage.
first? And for the FTW title,
Maybe, sure. What? No, but I'd still like to
why
see.
not the best guy take the best
You mean
baddest belt?
the best man?
Best man.
I would no, but I am eager to see Miro in the ring. I'm wondering if he's gonna have like a similar move set to when he was Rusev.
Probably, but he probably has learned some new stuff too.
Right.
He's way more jacked. Did you see that workout
Yeah,
video?
I did. He's like huge.
Uh, Next was Tony Schiavone interviewing uh, Hangman Page.
Right. That's when they had the two different
The two
interviews.
different, and I didn't, or did I? No, I didn't make note of both of them. No, I did. Yeah, right there. Okay.
Yeah.
So anyway, in this episode, Shivani interviewed Paige about the future of the tag team champions or former tag team
Yeah, and
champions.
he expressed that he would like to get back together, work
With
as a tag team
keep working as a tag team
with
and
Mega or
going,
Omega.
getting uh, from the bottom and just work their way back up the tag rankings until they're number one contenders again.
But that was dashed by Omega's interview with
Which came
Jim
later,
Ross,
which yeah,
and he just said
he wants to
no.
focus on being a singles competitor.
Yeah.
So in between that, uh, the new tag team of Jericho and Hager, which they don't have a name yet.
hmm Yeah, I wonder why they're not doing Les Sex Gods with him and Guevara. Oh no, that's right, Guevara's
Because
injured.
Guevara's injured. But it was Jericho and Hager's first. They picked up a win against Bad Kiss,
hmm
which we've got to get this information to Jericho or somebody to tell him like we came up with the name Bad Kiss
Right
for
for
Janela and Sunny
Bad
Kiss.
right?
I think that's awesome. Jericho and Hager picked up the win, and then that's when they cut the promo saying that they're going to dominate the tag division. They
Right.
want the tag belts. MJF promo, and it was kind of like teasing another split with Wardlow.
Yeah. Oh,
Remember
when he fired all of his
when he
campaign
fired his
staff.
campaign staff, and then kind of got in Wardlow's face. Oh, what are you gonna do? Oh.
Right, because Wardlow came back.
And when he said, "Oh, when the last I checked, Tony Khan isn't the one signing your checks; it's me," which I'm not exactly sure what that's about.
I mean, it was just a way to just like it's gonna play in a story later. It's like Wardlow can't
Yeah,
leave because he's technically under contract by
to MJF.
But like,
Yeah.
there's gonna be a point where Wardlow's like pissed off. He doesn't like MJF anymore, and he's gonna come out and he's gonna be like holding a contract that's like by Tony Khan. So then, and then you'll see the scared MJF face as Wardlow comes down and puts
Knocks him
boots
out.
to asses.
He
Yeah,
takes the ring.
probably. Yeah, probably. I don't know.
Takes the ring.
But well, I'm interested for that eventual because they've been teasing that eventual split for like a while.
Yeah. Well, but they do that.
Yeah,
They give us long, drawn out storylines.
it's like 6 months ago.
it's
MJF
not-
said something to Wardlow and it pissed him off.
Yeah, well, like 18 weeks ago, Orange Cassidy farted next to Jericho, and then they made a Mimosa Mayhem match. I mean, come on. FTR did a segment. I have it says something promo, but I'm not sure what happened. Can't read that.
The,
The hell's bugging my
see
hair?
if I can remember FTR's pro.
I don't know. They cut a promo on something.
Was
I'm not
that
sure.
when they were? Is that when they had the cake and stuff? The cake and beer they were celebrating. They were talking. There was all the tag teams around the ring. Then they started jaw
Oh, that's
jacking
right.
with
That's
Jurassic
right.
Express.
They started like shooting on everybody.
And
They're like, "You guys are good, but not good enough, and you
right.
guys suck, and all that.
And
You guys
then
are okay."
which Luchasaurus didn't take too kindly to, so chased him out of the ring and then
And then like
took his
everybody's
cake.
eating cake.
And I like how Luchasaurus just has a hand of cake,
Yeah.
just blah, eating it. Although cake and beer to me doesn't. I mean, I don't like beer anyways, but cake and beer sounds pretty gross.
Nyla Rose finally came back. that's when they were wearing their Vicious Vixen gear.
Uh-huh.
Her and
Vicky.
Vicky Guerrero, and it was Nyla against Tay Conti, who that was because that's when they said she still hasn't joined the Dark Order.
Right.
They said she's still mulling over the offer to join
Even
the
though it
Dark
looked
Order.
like she like hugged Anna Jay
Yeah,
and was
because
like,
when they handed her the contract, she like nodded her head yes, and then they embraced and hugged, and they all left together. So it's like, oh, she's in the Dark Order. Now she's
no.
not so
And
sure.
Sheeta saved her from a beatdown.
Yeah,
Which I think that's putting Sheeta as a face because she doesn't talk and doesn't cut promos, which I still like a lot. I think
Sheeta
she's
is a face.
yeah, she's doing well. Well, because I mean, last week she came to the aid of not Thunder Rosa, Eva
Yeah,
Lewis.
no, Thunder Rosa,
Oh yeah, and stopped the beatdown. So
which is coming up. But anyway, Tay Conti lost to Nyla Rose, which is
and
kind of not really of a surprise.
right, but
She needs the Dark Order.
yeah.
Hello, she needs the Dark Order.
right. So Naya started to beat her down, which for some reason prompted Sheeta to come out and not Anna Jay. Story wise, it doesn't make a lot of sense.
Yeah.
But more Sheeta, so that works for me.
So then we already talked about the interview, and then Brody Lee versus Dustin Rhodes for the TNT title.
Right, which he didn't just beat him down like he did Cody.
No, Dustin took him to the limit, man.
Mm-hmm.
That was a really, really good match. And you still got to remember, I think Brody Lee's not even 40, I don't think. I think he's like 37, 38.
Mm-hmm.
And Dustin is like 52
Right.
or somewhere around there. And in the best shape he's ever been in. You know, Goldust, if you go back and look, Goldust was always kind of fat. That's why I thought it was weird that he wore that full body jumpsuit because he looked.
Yeah, but it's better than the artist formerly known as
Goldust.
Goldust, and I wish I could burn those memories out of my brain like Dustin burned the Goldust outfit.
But I mean, damn, dude's in phenomenal shape for his age.
He power or scoop slammed Brodie.
Yeah, he did. It wasn't as fast as he normally does it, but he still did it. And Brody Lee's like 300 pounds, man.
Yeah.
Or 275, I think. He's like 6'8", 275, something like that.
And he got scoop slammed.
He did. And then he scoop slammed a couple of, was it
Dark
Reynolds?
Order, yeah.
It was probably Reynolds. Well, those were a little faster because those are little guys, but dude can still go like crazy.
I like when he sells it because he can probably do it just as fast as he used
when he
to.
does the winded?
Yeah, he stops him and he's like, okay. And then
he just scoop slams the heck out of him anyway. That's awesome. And that was the, I didn't make the notation, but Brody Lee retained.
Yeah, Brody Lee retained.
But that was still, and he had the whole Nightmare family too. Remember? The whole Nightmare family was there to support him because it was going to be such a big deal with the exception of Arn.
Mm-hmm. But he. Excuse me. Whew. Water's coming back hard.
And then
the coffee I had earlier.
And then that was the show. And then they had the special announcement from Cody, who's supposedly injured, but no, not really.
No, he's doing his Go Big show.
He's got a talent show going on that they're filming. The Go Big show. Not to be confused with the Big Show. Or the Big Show himself.
Right. You know, it's interesting that he's taking time off to do this talent show when he says he's going to be done wrestling by the time he's 30 or 40, but he's 35.
Mm-hmm. And he said he's got like 5 years. He's got probably 5 years left. And so he's taken, I don't know how many months off to film this talent show. And it's not just a talent show. There's like no singing. It's all like danger acts or crazy. It's like the Gong Show on meth.
Maybe.
It's what it looked like to be.
Steroids, maybe.
No, meth. People doing stupid crap. Before they almost kill themselves. So that was that, and not so bad. We're a little over half an hour. So I've got Dark 52, and then the main thing. Okay, so Dark 52, Brandi Rhodes. The opening match was against Red Velvet, your favorite.
Oh, I still don't understand her character, but
Straight out the kitchen.
But I missed it.
Did you?
Yeah.
Brandi
Yeah,
picked up
because
the win, but it wasn't a squash. Red Velvet's shown that she's up there. She's going to be going to the main roster. They're going to be able to revamp. I think maybe they'll wait until the end or beginning of the year that they're really going to put together their women's division and get it back. I've got a note on that is okay. Back in 2008, during the real women's revolution over on Impact,
right.
there was a tag team. They were Rosita and Sarita. They were a Latina tag team because Impact had a tag division, women's tag division, and it was great. Taylor Wilde and there was just all kinds of people over there. Anyway, uh, Sarita is actually a white chick. Her name's Sarah Stock, and she's been the trainer for the women's division over there in NXT. Actually, in Florida at the Performance Center, the Florida Championship Wrestling, whatever. She's been the women's trainer. She got her walking papers from WWE about a week ago. So if they pick up Sarah Stock and make her the women's trainer, because I know it's Dustin and QT Marshall actually training the women's wrestlers. But if they're involved in storyline, they may not have the time that they need.
Right.
So if they pick up Sarah Stock and put her over there and in the women's division, dude, that will that's another message we need to get Tony Khan. Dude, pick her up. Are you kidding me? Or Jericho. We can tweet him off our Twitter account, right?
Yeah, but we're nothing. We're not even peons.
We'll still do it. Butcher and Blade came out with Eddie Kingston. Butcher and Blade's record is 15-6, I think.
Yeah.
Which I'm not sure how that is. It doesn't seem like they've wrestled that many matches. That's 21 matches.
Right.
Against Kevin Blackwood and Daniel Garcia.
They made their AEW debut and
lost.
I don't even remember them that well, so
no, I don't either.
I don't
can't
think
really talk about
they didn't make much of an impression.
Penelope Ford came out for an obligatory win against a girl named Danny Jordan, she was all right.
The real mean girl.
Yeah, that's her gimmick, which is kind of cool.
Yeah, it's funny. I like that movie.
Yeah. And then this was our favorite match.
That's the one that I started thinking of.
Yeah, right here. This was Brian Cage against Megabyte Ronnie.
Yeah, that was great. At first wasn't too. I was like, oh, okay, they're feeding somebody to Brian Cage, and I use those words on purpose. But turns out
Megabyte Ronnie has one of the best gimmicks ever. Ever.
And he is a former
competitive eating champion.
Yeah, and he got into pro wrestling, and I was like, oh,
and he's got a kind of a redneck gimmick. He looks like, because he had a sleeveless.
Yeah.
He had a sleeveless flannel, and he has the handlebar mustache going on. He kind of like Cody Deaner, maybe.
Right.
And then I told you, because you didn't see it, was he actually came out on Monday on Being the Elite, and he did this thing where he was, I shouldn't have taken this job as a food delivery guy. He didn't say DoorDasher, but I shouldn't have taken this job as a food delivery guy because he was delivering these cakes to Brandon Cutler, and he just Brandon Cutler got a phone call. He was on the phone with Hangman Page, and Ronnie just went crazy and ate the cakes. He just handful. He was slopping it, so that he was able to finish both cakes. And they were like those round 7-Up cakes at the bakery.
Right.
And he ate those in a minute. And so anyway, that's where I saw him, and I didn't understand what was happening until he came out.
Right.
And he came out with a fanny pack with obviously something in it. We didn't know what.
Yeah.
Until.
And so it was interesting because he lifted Cage and gave him a slam, and I was like, well, that's interesting. And then he pulls out the hot dog, and he does the people's elbow.
People's hot dog.
Yeah.
Is what I'm calling it.
Until we get a name. But it's literally the Rock's people elbow.
With a hot dog in his hand.
And then he takes a bite.
Takes a bite of the hot dog and then drops
the elbow. And
that is the best thing since freaking Matt Hardy's broken
Yeah,
gimmick.
and
I
thank
swear to
you,
God.
Brian Cage, for letting him
For
get
letting
that.
him do it without getting up and ruining it.
Yeah,
There's other people that you see they're going to do their signature move and then it gets stopped and it
yeah.
gets halted.
And what I assume happened is they were backstage and they were talking and like, yeah, and I'm
And
gonna
this
do
is what I'm
this.
going
And
to do.
Brian Cage heard that and was like, yes, absolutely.
He
You
probably
can.
just like laughed his ass off and said, "Yeah, I'm down
Yeah,
for it," because
that
he did lay there
he laid there and
for
let him get
at the
the
whole.
theatrics, everything bouncing off the ropes, taking a bite of the hot
I
dog,
wonder
and
what Dwayne Johnson thinks of it.
that's I don't
We
know.
should send it to him. Send him a clip. Like that was
I'm sure
hilarious.
somebody sent him already, but that was really
So
great.
we like Megabyte Ronnie. We hope that he keeps appearing on Dark.
Hmm.
He can make it to the his wrestling. I don't know. His gimmick's more memorable in his wrestling, so I don't know if
Yeah,
he belongs on
but
Dynamite.
he did slam Brian
He
Cage.
did. He did.
A
Spine.
scoop slam or
I
something.
thought it was a spine buster.
I know.
Somehow he got him down.
Yeah.
Maybe it was even a drop kick. I don't know. Or as I'm saying, his finisher gimmick is more memorable than the rest of his wrestling.
Hmm.
Uh, Brian Pillman Jr. formed a team with Griff Garrison,
Hmm.
which they should call them the Hair Bear Bunch. I don't know. They went against Santana and Ortiz.
In which they picked up their win.
Yeah, and Santana and Ortiz are now 12-6. Did we look at the rankings this week?
No,
That was on Friday. They came out on Friday. We should check those.
my phone's in the house.
Yeah, but and Santana are 12-6.
Hmm.
Santana and Ortiz
Well,
are
now
12
not
and 6,
anymore.
and now
12-7.
yeah, which we'll get to.
Spoilers.
Uh, the returning Jesse Sorensen, he's a solid guy, so they're keeping him back against the now red hot Will Hobbs, Willpower.
Hmm.
What I liked, which I'm not getting ahead of myself, or I actually am, but anyway, uh, Mox called him Oakland's most violent. I like that. I love that name.
Does he? His finisher's a clothesline? No,
I don't remember what his finisher is. We'll have to
I forgot.
watch.
I think it's a clothesline.
But yeah, this dude is red hot now. That dude's got some good stuff coming for him. Will Hobbs did pick up the wins against Sorensen, who's a solid worker. And then we had Skyler Moore, which we like.
Hmm.
Skylar Moore came out, or is it Skylar Moore that's the mean girl? Not Danny Jordan. Skylar Moore.
I'm pretty sure it's Danny Jordan.
No, it is. You're right, because I'm
Yeah.
thinking of the DJ logo. Anyway,
Yeah.
Skylar Moore, who's a solid worker with Roche Chanel, who can wrestle now all of a sudden, against Ivelisse and Diamante.
Yeah, and Ivelisse and Diamante.
Of course,
Juan.
picked up the win because that was the build up for the singles match.
Hmm.
And then QT Marshall from the Nightmare Family against Colt Cabana.
Cabana won, right?
Yes,
Yeah,
he did.
yeah, he did.
Boom, boom.
Oh, that's right, because Stu Grayson came in with a huge knee
Yeah,
to
out of
QT,
nowhere.
and then
Helped him win, and he doesn't know it.
Cabana doesn't. Well, obviously he knows, but Cabana doesn't know. And then he hit the discus lariat,
Brody Lee move.
the Brodie Lee move, and picked up the win.
And it's like Evil Uno is like now like coaching Cabana like behind Brody's back.
And he's also counseling him, not consoling. He's
Well,
consoling him because Brodie Lee's pissed off
right.
because he lost.
And so now
Yeah.
Evil Uno has took it upon himself to like coach Cabana behind Brody Lee's back, because remember, Brody Lee was the one giving Cabana the wins. Basically, he'd beat the crap out of somebody and then just go like this and go ahead and pin him, and he didn't have to hit him or anything. He just laid him down and took up the 3. So now Uno is doing this behind Brody's back, which I think will play into. Brody Lee's probably gonna give him like an ultimatum: you win your next match or you're out of the Dark Order.
Hmm.
And then he's going to win because Uno's been helping him,
Right.
and that'll make everything good.
And I can't wait for
order.
him to completely join the Dark Order, because now even his singlet is
Dark Order colors.
Dark Order colors. It says join the Dark Order.
He's got a shirt, a Colt Cabana Dark Order shirt.
And I'm looking forward to him like turning heel because we've seen him beat down some people.
Yeah, dude.
I can't
Yeah.
wait for that just to be him
And then
every
he,
week.
uh, I had a train of thought, but it derailed.
Hmm.
Anyway, he did beat QT Marshall with help. Um, and then the match, which you called the finish even before it started.
Yes, Brandon Cutler
The initiative
against
are no more.
yeah, it was Brandon Cutler against Peter Avalon.
Peter Avalon, and there had to be a winner because they're both been losers.
And I jokingly said, I was like, no, you don't. There doesn't have to be a winner. It can be a double count out or a double DQ. But I was like, but a double count out, it's the most probable. And
and
then
that's what it was.
it was a double count out. But it was Brandon Cutler like tripped and held on to Avalon so that he couldn't get back into the ring. Because when they realized where the count was,
Yeah, they were up to
they
8.
were they both tried to get in the ring and they were pulling each other out. And so at the 9, it looks like Peter Avalon's going to slip in, and then Brandon Cutler catches his leg, trips him, and holds him down. So
And
the
then
ref
remember
counts
that
10.
even though Leva Bates
Bates.
left with Avalon and
Hmm.
has come out with Avalon, remember she kept checking on Cutler.
She was checking on Cutler. Still didn't want him to fight as much.
Yeah. Now here's
It's
the thing:
interesting.
whichever one of them loses, does the Dark Order recruit?
Maybe because they've been on losing streaks.
Yeah.
I don't know. Oh, I did like Brandon Cutler coming out with the dragon mask.
Yeah. Well,
That's
yeah,
cool.
that was cool.
That's a red dragon, canonically the evil dragon
So he's not a warlock.
in Dungeons and Dragons.
He's a dragon.
Well, he could be. I mean, who
Cool.
knows? But anyways,
But yeah, it kind of sucks that the initiative broke up. But I'm behind.
hmm
Peter Avalon still looks like a '70s porn star, so I'm behind Brandon Cutler getting the push.
I like Brandon Cutler because he does Dungeons and Dragons.
So,
But
that's
again,
cool.
weird that it was the red dragon because those are the evil ones. But he's not. He won't. He refuses to work heel.
Or he refuses to cheat.
Yeah,
Yeah.
working heel. So yeah, it's interesting. He could have gone with the gold dragon, which is still a fire breathing dragon. Anyways,
Um, Next, we had the best friends in a tune-up match for their street fight
right.
was against Max Stardom and Dante Smiley, and they didn't mention it. I wonder if Dante Smiley is the son of Norman Smiley. He's
Mm.
like a legendary WCW wrestler slash WWE trainer.
hmm
He's trained a lot of WWE guys.
I'll be honest, I don't remember this match.
Best friends picked up the win.
Yeah, I like the best
Max
friends.
Stardom
Dude,
was the
who's the bigger built one? Trent Beretta, right? He's the
Trent Legatta's like shredded. And
dude. His
Chucky
spears,
Taylor is kind of like
yeah.
yeah.
Trent spears are something else,
Yeah.
man.
Yeah, he's got one of the better spears in the business. Oh boy. Um, the Gun Club and Private Party teamed up.
Maybe I don't remember that one either. I must have missed the last half of
The
this.
Gun
arc.
Club and Private Party teamed up against 1 through 4 of the Dark Order. Uno, Grayson,
Mhm.
Reynolds, and
Oh wait, that sounds familiar.
yeah,
And-
because we were talking about the back of their trunks.
oh yeah.
Anyway, Reynolds and Silver and Uno and Grayson did pick up the win against the Gun Club and Private Party. I don't remember if there was
As they should.
miscommunication. I don't remember if there was a miscommunication or how, but the Dark Order did win.
As they should.
And then that's when I pointed out that on the back of Alex Reynolds' trunks, the E in his name is backwards, so it makes it 3. So you know that he's 3.
Right.
And then the other guy had Silver.
John Silver.
John Silver. The L and the V in Silver made a 4. I don't exactly know how to do that, but yeah. So that was good. And then that was that was another, I think, 11 or 12 matches. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Another 11 matches on that episode of Dark. Which brings us to this week, Dynamite from September 16th, just a couple of days ago. The Young Bucks turning heel.
They're being dicks.
They came out and super kicked the ref again.
Yeah, and then just threw
Because
money
it was
at
going to
Tony
be
Khan
it was going to be the opening match was FTR
against Jurassic
against
Express.
Jurassic Express, but the Young Bucks came out and super kicked Party on the ref. And previously, when they did that,
They were fine.
They were fined $5,000 each. and on Being the Elite, um, it showed him walking in the arena, and it was Tony Khan's office. They opened the door, he wasn't there, so they just had a wad of money, just like threw it in his room and closed the door and walked off. This week, after they super kicked him, they went back to gorilla position, and Tony was there with his headset and his monitor, and he just kind of had a like unexpected like what
Hmm.
the heck, and just take the money and threw it at him. And then
Yeah.
they walked off, and then they got to jaw jacking with FTR,
Right.
which I couldn't hear what they were saying.
And then they brought out a new ref, and Jurassic Express and FTR match got started properly. And look at Jungle Boy getting the starlight, the
Dude,
spotlight. Spotlight, that's the word.
he can go with any. I mean, he can go with the Luchas
Hmm.
brothers. He's got that style, and then with FTR, ground and pound.
Yeah, he's there.
He's I don't we know who he is. We know what his dad is, but I don't know who he learned to wrestle from. We'll have to. Well, I'm sure we can look that up, but
Yeah.
he is really being adaptable to different styles, and he was
And
really
saw
good in
all
that
the
match.
different pins that he can pull out. Because that last spot of the match is
Yeah,
him
because
just pulling out
Lucha
crucifixes and
was
roll
yeah,
ups
because
and stuff.
Luchasaurus was just kind of there. I mean, he did have his time, his spots, but there are spots that we've seen.
Hmm.
Jungle Boy was pulling out spots that we hadn't seen, high
Right.
spots that we hadn't seen before, and then FTR did pick up the win because
Cheated.
well, but they're also the tag champs, and they just got the ink's barely dry on their contracts. You know that was in their contract that they're gonna not lose for a while
Hmm. But also, this is the second time that Jurassic Express has lost
because
because
of
Luchas are
Luchasaurus
taking a dive,
jumping into the crowd.
quite literally
So
diving into the
I
crowd.
I don't think they're teasing a break. I don't think they're gonna tease a breakup on them yet.
No, but Jungle Boy is going to be upset and be like, "Hey, you need to you need
Yeah,
to be in the corner." You know.
yeah. And then we got a backstage segment with Alex Marvez where somebody
Mhm.
unknown beat Matt Hardy.
And hit him with a bat.
Well, we don't know that they hit him with a
No,
bat.
I'm
We
pretty
just know his knee was out. They were going to talk about their strategy, and then you see that he's down, and the doctor's there, Doc Sampson, and then here comes Hager and Jericho, and Jericho's literally holding the bat. Oh my God, are you okay?
sure. Yeah.
Oh, you better put some ice on that.
Got to amputate it.
Yeah. So then they took that out, or they saved that for later. But yeah, Hangman and Page basically. I mean, Hager and Jericho. We don't know. You can't confirm it, but it looks like they took out Matt Hardy
Hmm.
because they were going to go against Private Party later.
In a no DQ match.
But then before that, we got Hangman Page. That's why I said that because I
Yeah.
was looking at my notes
Against Kazarian.
against Frankie Kazarian in a singles match. I haven't seen Frankie. Well, no, he did wrestle a couple of singles on Dark
Hmm.
where he was kind of working stiff on the new guys. Remember?
Oh yeah, he's hitting them
He,
hard.
yeah. But anyway, Kazarian against Adam Page, and with Kenny Omega on commentary, who was doing nothing but putting over Page. I
Hmm.
mean, just that's every other word, every other sentence out of his
Right.
mouth, he was putting over Page.
But also reaffirming
That
that they're not going to be
they're
tagged.
singles.
Yeah.
He's a singles competitor. Kazarian's been around about 20 years. Um, he's part of the original crew from Impact, formerly when
Hmm.
they were TNA, Nonstop Action.
Total nonstop action.
Yeah. So, but he looked good, but Paige was actually looked just a little bit. That was one of those ones where Kazarian looked good, and Paige just looked just a
A
little
little
bit
bit better.
better. It wasn't a squash by any means. It was a very competitive match, and then Paige came out on top, which for his singles push, he absolutely
Yeah.
should be winning.
Now he hesitate. To me, it looked like he hesitated to drink his victory beer. So it looked like he was hesitating to drink the beer because he called for the victory beer, cracked it open, and then he just kind of rested it there.
And just right before that, Kenny was like, "Okay, it's been great. I'm out of here. I'll catch you guys later." And as he was walking past the ring, he did a thing where it's like, "I'm looking, but I'm trying not to look."
Hmm.
And then he walked down the tunnel by himself. He didn't go over and congratulate
Hangman.
Hangman, and commentary noted that they were kind of confused by it.
Right. But he did eventually drink the beer. And I'm still of the opinion that CM Punk comes in and helps him with his alcoholism. And Page gets elevated to an even higher level as a
I
singles
think it'll happen,
competitor,
but I don't think
as a
CM
silver
Punk's going to be
I
involved.
know, but I want CM Punk.
The squash, MJF and Shawn Dean,
Oh yeah, he beat him with the salt of the earth. So just so
and then
fast.
cut his promo about how he's the undefeated, undisputed, uncrowned world champion of AEW,
Yeah.
and he made
Justin
Justin
Roberts.
Roberts say that with a threat of having Wardlow go down and beat his ass.
Mm-hmm. Not interested. Because
I
he's
still like MJF as a heel.
Yeah, I like MJF.
I like him, but now that he's not in the title hunt, what is he gonna do? I mean,
Well, and he's like, oh,
he's
John
just
cheated,
squashed.
but like he was gonna cheat himself
Yeah.
and hit him with the diamond ring. So it's like,
I don't know what's next for MJF. I mean, because it looks like they're moving on with the Moxley storyline.
Mm-hmm.
He's got to go against the two big behemoths, which we'll talk about in just a couple minutes. So I'm not sure what they're going to do with MJF. So
We'll find out.
His squash match and his promo wasn't.
Maybe they're gonna do that story with him and Wardlow. He did talk about.
He did tease either joining a faction or putting together a faction.
Because he said that's how you have to get around.
Because there's like a new faction every week.
Yeah.
Which is probably a little bit of a shoot right there.
It's pretty true. I was bringing that up.
And they're all heels. All the factions are heels.
Mm-hmm.
And then we got Eddie Kingston's promo where he did bring up again that he didn't lose the Battle Royal. In his Unrestricted podcast interview, he said, "If you hear me repeat myself, it's because he doesn't write down his promos. He doesn't rehearse. Doesn't go to class, which he could because he could have freaking promo on a cookie. But it's off the top of his head."
Mm-hmm.
He said like stuff that inspires him, maybe stuff that happens during the day. He could hear song lyrics that he thinks a line is really cool, so he'll try to put it in his promo. And dude, his promos are so good. And anyway, he was cutting the promo how they've been not teasing I don't think they were really teasing a breakup, but they've had problems with the Luchas being pissed off at each other, and Blade and Butcher kind of either being doing miscommunications or losing or whatever. And so he's like, "We're not a faction. We're not a." He said, "We're not a faction, and we're not a something. We're a family."
Yeah.
And families fight, and then so, we don't go to therapy. We don't go to dinners. Like we fight. And so they just grabbed Butcher and Blade grabbed two guys over the rail, wrestlers, and then some dude with blue hair. I'm not sure who that was, and the other guy in a pink polo shirt. And they just beat the crap out of him, and then that made them all feel better because they all helped each other beat these two dudes, and then they were like, then they all hugged and they're all good again because there was a miscommunication and. That one time, and Penta and Phoenix got pissed off at each other. Remember?
And they started to try and fight.
And in that 1 week before, remember they wouldn't let Blade help him with
their combo finisher.
Yeah, they wouldn't
said, "Well, you're not Phoenix, so no."
Yeah, so you can't do it. So that was their thing, and now they're supposedly solid again. Which I'm not sure. They're a group of 5, so who do they go against? Dark Order?
Inner Circle?
Inner Circle? I could see that. So anyway, yeah, that was that promo that he did. Oh, and then the little dig in there was, and they've said it twice. Like I said, Kingston's bound to repeat himself. He told us, I can't think of his name, Blade, but what's his name?
Blade?
Oh, is it? Yeah. And he said, now we've got our house in order. You need to get your house in order, which I think means He's got to get Allie back
To being Bunny,
to being Bunny to, to help them out.
Butcher, Blade, and Bunny.
Yeah, which was what they started as. So I don't know if that means uh, Blade against QT Marshall.
I don't know, but my brain just went Butcher, Blade, and Bunny, and I was like, what other team kind of functioned that way? Whereas like two friends and a girl, but the girl was married or a girlfriend to one of them. Deuce and Domino.
Oh, I thought you were going to say John and Yoko
Nope, Deuce and Domino from the wrong side
with
of the
Cherry.
tracks. Yeah, but now in my mind, Butcher and Blade are like Deuce and Domino, and now that's going to be hard because they even wear the white. It's going to be really hard to watch in the next match
I
that
like
they're
them
in.
watching and I like them wearing white, even though
Yeah.
they're bad guys. They wear white just to
Mhm.
throw off the dynamic. Jim Ross keeps thinking they work in a bakery.
Yeah, but I mean, if they come with like leather jackets, I'm going to be like, it's Deuce and
You're gonna lose your
Domino.
mind.
Yeah.
Um, and then we got the private part. Is that right? Yeah, Eddie King's after Eddie King's it was private party against Hager and Jericho.
In a no DQ,
No DQ match.
which was there, Hager hits
Cassidy.
with the bat and then like hides it from the ref, but I was like, it's a no DQ. Why did he hide it? Because later Jericho pulls out the fire hydrant and like sprays it in uh one of them's Isaiah's face, and and it's like, and then also one of Private Party gets out a chair and is like,
But it was still a good match.
yeah,
too.
it was good. It was just like that part was confusing that Hager hits the bat and then he like hides it.
And then we also got, which I think was match of the night. Now I forgot Mr.
Oh,
Davis.
but
What did Mr. Davis think was the match of the night?
he said it could have been any of
No, but he thought one was until something else happened.
them.
But I don't remember. But anyway, my match of the night was Thunder Rosa and Ivelisse,
Mhm.
and it was a great, great, great match. And we were like, these girls are working kind of stiff right here. Well,
Yeah.
something's not right. And then we found out later through information that actually Ivelisse and Thunder Rosa did get along, and they were like practicing their match, and Ivelisse wasn't doing what Rosa wanted because she's very protective of
Her
the NWA title
title and her wrestling
and
style.
her wrestling style. So how her character is presented, she needs to go over in a certain way, and I mean go over it, not go over the fans, but go over in the match. It's obviously going to win. And Ivelisse wasn't playing ball or something, and they were like legit pissed off at each other,
Mhm.
and you could see it. You could see it.
Even
There
though
was
they
some-
edited the TV match,
you could still
you
see
see it.
there was a couple of shoves, there was a couple of dirty looks, there was a couple of butting their heads against each other. I mean, but it was a great, great match. And now we
Thunder
know
Rosa
why.
is a really good
You like
wrestler.
her?
Yeah, she's really, really talented.
I saw her over in NWA when Power was on, and it was awesome. She's in a faction with Melina and I forget. Oh, and Marty Bell. Actually, those are also really good wrestlers.
Mm-hmm.
But NWA is kind of dead right now, so we don't know what's going to happen. But yeah, working angry made for such a good match, dude.
Mm-hmm.
That match was really good. And then we're really surprised that I mean, I know that they were going to do it. I knew because remember Sheeta came out
Right.
because after Rosa picked up the win, then Diamante jumped in the ring and jumped Rosa and started trying to do a beatdown on her. So Sheeta jumped the rails, and we're outside.
And the
And
main road
there's a
is
main
just
street
right over
there.
there.
It's called Gear Road. We're in Turlock, California. Yeah,
Why would you say that?
because people could be watching it in different states.
Anyways, yeah, there's. I don't know what's going on.
Sounds like a race or something.
Yeah.
Motorcycles. So it's Saturday night and it's after midnight, so yeah, Yahoos are out playing. So anyway, Sheeta came in and stopped the beatdown, and then remember she was looking at the NWA title, kind of like considering it.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Like,
Right.
what would this look like on me?
Right, but she
She
did
needs
put
Sheeta
it
2 belts
right. But then Sheeta did put the NWA title over her shoulder,
on Thunder Rose's shoulder, and then kind of
patted her,
like that and
and
walked out.
walked out.
So this isn't over yet, which is great. Give me more. Give me more Rosa and Cheetah.
Mhm.
This is awesome.
Right now, I continue to say this because actions speak louder than words, and that's what Sheeta's doing,
Mhm.
and I really, really enjoy it. I think not that it ruins her character, but I think it would bring her down like the minute she starts getting on a mic, where she's a
Well,
strong silent type.
but she's got broken English and she does speak in like
Right.
backstage
Well, like, I
segments
follow
and
her
stuff.
YouTube channel,
Oh,
but
do you?
yeah, but I mean like, and her English is not that broken, but I think as the strong silent character of Sheeta, she didn't have to say, she didn't have to put the belt on Thunder Rosa and then be like, and then in a couple weeks I'm coming for it. She just had to put the belt on, pat her, and walk out. That's
And considering it,
that's
before that.
beautiful. I don't think she
Uh,
needs Mike. I don't think she needs to
And
be on the
so
mic.
we'll be looking to next week. Will be the Diamante and Ivelisse team up against Sheeta and Rosa.
Which is going to be a great match.
Yeah, that's going to be the one I'm looking most forward to. After that, we got a promo from Kip Sabian and Miro just to put Miro on TV.
Right.
Uh,
Of him working out all
yeah,
jacked.
he's like super jacked now. He's in way better shape than he was with as being Rusev. He commented that on his Twitch.
Yeah, I saw that. I saw him talking about that.
Yeah, so we're still waiting for the bachelor party.
Yeah, he said that
be.
Kip Sabian said that they're not going to get into the ring until after the wedding. So we have to go through the bachelor party and then the wedding, and then Miro can get in the ring.
So they're going to drag that until Full Gear?
Maybe.
Full Gear's November.
I want to see Miro in the ring.
And then Miro, also on his Twitch, he talked about the angle that they're doing about the best man, and he said, well, who's a better expert on weddings than him?
Yeah, right.
Because he's been in the wedding angles at his old company. Also, I love that Miro is really expressive about how happy he is to be in AEW, which all the former WWE guys are so much happier right now. It's a pattern. Archer and Jake the Snake then came out to do their deal with the devil. The devil being Taz.
Because he needed 2 more tag partners. So I said that too, and I was like, it's Brian Cage. And then and I don't know, I should have assumed that Brian Cage and Ricky Starks were going to go together as a package deal, but which they did. But in my mind, I was like, oh yeah, he's going to ask Brian Cage.
And then who else? You were like, I wonder who the third guy will be.
Yeah, pretty much. But
so anyway, what they're doing is next week. Also, there's going to be a 6-man tag, and it was Mox and whoever he could come up with. And then it was Archer and whoever he come up with. And Jake the Snake once again cuts a brilliant promo. He threw some Pink Floyd lyrics out. Did you notice?
No.
He was doing his "Sometimes you got to deal with the devil, blah blah blah." But he also said, "Did you trade your?" He did a lyric from "Wish You Were Here." I'll have to go back and show you. But anyway, Jake put on another really solid promo as only he can with his intimidation. And so that was Team Taz, which is Absolute Ricky Starks, and Brian Cage are going to team up with Lance Archer, basically to take out Mox so that Archer can win the title and give the first title shot to Cage.
Right. And so
here they go.
So Mox comes out as he's going to. Important though, only Brian Cage and Taz came down to the ring, and so Mox was coming out to say who he had, and Ricky Starks jumped him.
Well, Mox did his thing that he does, which is holdover from the Shield days. He comes out from different places in the arena instead of coming out the tunnel. And so, yeah, you look, and I actually went back and looked when I was watching it again today, and you see a dude in a not purple, like a plum color, brownish plum colored hood, and he's got a black mask, and you see him actually like get ready to jump up, to jump, and he was just waiting for the signal or whatever,
Hmm.
and he jumped box, and then Brian Cage just came out of nowhere, and
Right.
they beat him down,
Which drew Will Hobb to his
which
aid.
brought out Will Hobbs for some reason with a chair.
Or is it Hobb or Hobbs?
Hobbs.
Okay, so
Because
there
it's
is an
plural.
A. So there is an H. Or
Yeah.
S.
Yeah, Will Hobbs came out, Willpower,
Mhm.
and helped beat back Starks and Cage. And then Moxley cut his promo calling him Oakland's most violent Willpower, Will Hobbs.
Mm-hmm.
Love it. They're like I said, they're gonna push this kid. He looks good. He's ready to go. I'm pretty sure he's done with Dark for a little bit,
Mm-hmm.
unless they want to further some storyline, because that's another thing.
Because he's got to start building up his wins.
Because that's what Dark seems to be. It's like really kind of further the storylines. But anyway, and then he said, "Oh yeah, we need a third guy." And he looks at the camera and says, "Darby Allin, we know you're out there watching. Get your ass down to Jacksonville next week. We've got a match."
Yeah, because it was the first time or second time they tagged. He said, "You can tag with me anytime." Moxley told
Well, first it
Darby.
was actually when he beat him. When Moxley beat Darby Allin, he
Ow.
said, "I like you. You know, I like you and I respect you, and you're
Mhm.
really good, and you know."
Yeah, you can
You're
tag
not
with me anytime.
No, well, yeah, he was like, "You're not a bad kid, blah blah blah. You're a great wrestler." And then the next time was when they were in the ring together after a match. It was an
Mhm.
aftermath, and Darby was eyeing the belt. And then
Right.
remember, Starks came out and just he knocked him back, knocked Darby Allin out.
Mm-hmm.
That was when Starks debuted as part of Team Taz.
Yes. Yeah.
And then that's when they said you will tag together anytime. Yeah. So that's next week.
And then that
And
brings
then
us
the
to the street
fight. One of the best. Street fight is a term loosely means it's the same as no DQ. Because street fights are generally held in and around the ring. They'll go up. They'll go up into the audience or whatever, and
Mhm. But this was outside in the parking lot.
This was excuse me. It was a parking lot fight, not
Yeah.
a street fight. Parking lot fight.
And they had a ring of cars. Now I want something always comes into my head. Is that just like cars they buy from like a junkyard?
Those were rentals. You could tell they were not junked out cars. They were all basically Tony Khan wrote a check and bought like a half dozen cars from a car rental place in Jacksonville. Probably like a Hertz rent a car or something, and the ones that they don't use anymore, they
Mhm.
like had because they were pretty new.
Yeah,
They
not
were pretty
anymore.
new. Yeah, now they're all damaged, and
Yeah.
he just wrote a check for those suckers.
Uh,
Probably about $100,000 worth of cars,
maybe.
because they had a truck too.
Yeah, and it's just vicious.
And they had a truck with plywood in the bed. The
Mhm.
tailgate was down, and plywood was in the back.
Yeah, and that was a vicious, brutal fight.
It was pay-per-view level.
Mhm.
That was pay-per-view level.
It was
fighting going on.
really really good. I liked it, and because I like the best friends, I'm glad that they won. But also storytelling wise, it makes sense.
Yeah, it was their time to get their revenge on Proud and Powerful for A, vandalizing Sue Beretta's minivan,
Right.
and B, Ortiz said he said a couple of different things about her.
Yeah, about
One was a sexual innuendo, I think, and then the other one was the only thing we're sorry about is she wasn't in the car when we trashed it.
Right.
And if you followed our podcast stuff about AEW, or if you follow AEW yourself, you know that Trent's mom has been driving them to the ring in her minivan.
I just thought that was so cool because you got Cody's weak badass.
His truck,
where he had the truck and he's revving in and it looks cool, and then he like taps a barricade over, and that's kind of disappointing.
He drove like 5 feet and then put on the brakes.
And then FTR comes out in
with
their
badass
truck.
Chevy truck. Actually looks just like Donnie's.
Yeah, but and then so just to the subversion of
Trent came up with the idea, hey, what if we drove up in a minivan and had my mom drop us off?
Yeah.
And everybody thought it was a great idea, which is a good thing. Like we said, they'll tell Tony Khan, hey, we want to do this, and whether he likes it or not, he just says, sure, go ahead.
And you know what? I just made the connection too. There's that commercial. I think it's an insurance company where the dudes are in the back and they're like in the
Oh
back of
yeah,
the cars.
yeah,
It's like they're going to the rock band
yeah.
and their
The mom
mom's
drops
dropping
off.
them
I
off.
bet you that's where he got the idea. Yeah,
Probably.
yeah, good call. Because yeah, that totally makes sense.
Yeah.
That could be where he got it, and it's become one of the most over things in wrestling now,
It's
which
hilarious. I
we'll
love
talk
it.
about afterwards. But we're going back into the street fight. Uh, there was it got somebody Or, Ortiz
Was under the hood.
under the hood, and they were slamming the hood down on him, and then
Did some swanton.
did a
Or not.
swan.
It just backdrops, I guess.
s- Yeah, I guess so. Yeah,
Senton something.
senton, seated senton. I don't know.
Maybe. They
Where's
just
Excalibur? He knows all those fancy
right.
terms.
But they were and the thing too is like a lot of wrestling is it's staged, it's scripted.
Which we know it is.
Right, and you need to protect them, and so like when you do kicks and hits with objects and stuff, it's very protected. I don't know how the hell they protected
That
Ortiz.
hood, yeah,
Yeah,
with the
because
hood,
the engine underneath it,
right?
that's
Well,
oh
but
my
okay,
gosh.
but if if you look, brand new cars,
Hmm.
you can't see the engine. When you lift up the hood, there's a protective
Oh yeah, they have the plastic
cover
thing
on it
because they don't want
because
you
they
to
don't want you to work on it. You've got to go take it into your dealer.
mess up the computer.
Right. So that's what he was. But still, they were slamming a damn hood
Put
on
on
him.
him, right, and then
So
jumped on it.
yeah. And so he got and then the plywood in the truck. Oh, and then we thought it was a table and turned out to be
Yeah, a door that
a door off of a room or something.
Trent lightly speared.
Uh, Santana.
Yeah, they had to figure out how to like, how do I do this? He's gonna
Because it
go,
was a spear, but like he fell on him
yeah, because he can't full speed
spear
spear him through the door into a
into the
car.
car. Right.
Yeah,
So, but they figured out how to do it. It still looked.
although
And then that's where Santana picked up the cut on his elbow, and
yeah,
then the blood was going all over the door and everything.
hmm
So yeah,
but it was still pretty intense and brutal. And
and was it Santana or Ortiz that got busted open on the side mirror?
it was one of them. I think it was Ortiz.
Got because he was bloody for the next 10,
Because they
15
ran him
minutes
right into the
to the side mirror.
yeah,
That was that. I don't know if he got it. Well, he couldn't have got his hand up if he was cut
yeah,
open. So he just took one for the team right there.
right. And so best friends were pretty dominant. But then the shift in power started, and Santana Ortiz started to get on top, which prompted Orange Cassidy to come out of the trunk.
Now I went back and looked.
He
I
has
was
a chain.
Well, no. Besides that, okay. So they had Santana had Trent Beretta down. Yeah, it was Trent. Was it Trent?
Hmm.
Yeah, and was pounding him, and he even cussed him. He dropped an F bomb that they bleeped out,
Hmm.
and then remember you seen that the lights came on
Yeah,
the
I
back of the
noticed
car.
that.
Well, I saw Trent had the key fob. He actually popped open the trunk.
Oh,
And he had it down here, and then all of a sudden he's going like this with it. I mean, hitting it because he wanted that sucker to pop open. It's like
right.
now is the time for Cassidy to make the save,
Hmm.
and Cassidy pops out, Mr. Chow style, but not naked,
Right.
and came out with a chain wrapped around his fist, and it's called the Orange Punch, not the Superman Punch.
The Orange
It's
Punch.
called the Orange Punch,
And he
and
laid out Santana with
he
it.
did.
Uh, and then Chucky T was having his fight with Ortiz, which was interesting because the camera is focused on Beretta and Santana and Orange, but like just in the
Just like
background,
10 feet over here,
you can see Ortiz. Like their match didn't stop.
right?
Like this is where the action is happening,
But
but
there's also this action
yeah,
over
they're
here.
they're still fighting, and you can see it in the background. But you can kind of see where it slowed down,
I
where they were
remember
waiting for the next spot.
he dropped uh, Ortiz dropped Chuck Taylor on the trash cans
Yeah. Oh, there was Trent Beretta got the double power bomb into the
into the windshield.
field, and his
Yeah.
back was all
Well,
cut
that's
up.
when he slid down, and that's when he had the key fob
Yeah.
to like Cassidy out. But also, and then the winning thing was it Beretta
Yeah, Trent won.
with the pile driver through through the plywood.
into the truck bed, and
Into
the
the
ref
truck bed,
counted
the
the
ref.
win, and then Sue pulled
Well,
up.
hold on.
Oh,
So then they won the match. They were all happy. They were congratulating. And as they walked away, they started smiling. And I distinctively heard the horn.
I heard it too.
Commentary didn't
Hmm.
because they were like, oh, they're smiling, but they weren't sure why. Oh, because they just had a hell of a fight. Blah, 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 blah. They
Hmm.
didn't understand that the horn was being sounded by Sue Beretta, who
right.
came to give them a ride home
No.
in her new minivan.
Yeah.
And opened the door, and they put her in. The guys all climbed in.
Beretta's back
Beretta's back was
bleeding.
late, and then he was bloody up here too
Yeah.
because I'll get to that in a second. They all drove off, and then the greatest thing ever was that Sue Beretta.
Hmm.
They looked back, and they were looking back at Ortiz, and Trent was. He was looking out the window, looking at Proud and Powerful, and Sue gave him the finger.
Yeah.
Oh, that was so awesome.
Right. Flipped them
And
off.
so now I want to tell you that I was watching the interview with Ryan, Sean Sapp. I think that's his name, Sean Sapp.
Sean Ross.
Yeah. He talked about it, and they had to talk her into it.
Hmm.
She didn't want to do it because I'm a former school teacher. How's that going to look? And they're like, but no, you're a character. You're Sue Beretta,
Hmm.
not Sue. His last name was something like Italian, like Maniscalco.
He
or
looks
something
really
like that.
Italian.
But she's Jewish, so I don't know. She must have married a Jew, but
You mean Italian?
or Italian, yeah. But anyway, she didn't want to do it, but they talked her into it. And they said, "No, you're a character, and your character can do that. You can do that." And so she just had the time of her life doing it.
Hmm.
And then also that she's going to have followers. Guess what they're called?
Hmm.
Supporters.
Oh, that's great.
She said that was awesome too. He said, Sean Sapp said, "Yeah, your people are going to be called supporters." And she says, "What did you say?" And he repeated it. And she said, "This is like the greatest thing." Also, she's getting her own T-shirt store
Yeah.
with her own merch. Her own merch.
And she's
not a wrestler by any shape, way, form.
right, and she's slightly an on-screen character. This is the second time we've seen her.
Yeah, and also in the interview, he asked, "Will she forgive? Can she ever forgive Santana or Ortiz?" She's like, "Hell no!" for what they did to
her van.
Her putting her son through.
Oh, okay.
And then and then the other stuff. And then there was another thing, is before All Out, she brought cookies.
Yeah,
She had brought cookies, and then actually MJF, like, they asked him what he thought. He's like, meh. So can she ever forgive MJF? She's like, hell no. She hates MJF, and she hates Proud and Powerful, and she's gonna get her own. They already got the one shirt. I'm not sure, but maybe they can have that shirt with her flipping the bird.
Oh, that's probably a T-shirt.
That'd be cool.
That's her hand, yeah.
So that ended that episode, Street Fight, top to bottom, one of the best episodes of Dynamite ever.
Yeah, it was really good.
Now they were back against. I did hear that they were back against Wednesday night NXT, and they both lost viewers. But NXT was only pulling in 600 and something thousand viewers, where versus NXT having 800.
You mean AEW?
Or AEW having 800,000. So again, if you schedule them on different nights, the viewership goes up for both of them.
For both of them, yeah.
Which, WWE needs to quit being stupid. Go to Tuesday or Thursday,
and just stop counter booking. Because I wouldn't be surprised if Friday or Monday they have a parking lot brawl,
or some kind of a. There's an ambulance match at Clash of Champions.
Oh yeah,
or Night of Champions. So yeah, there's an ambulance match. So, but anyway, this is going to wrap up our double Dynamite and Dark for this week. Next week we're going to have not really a double, but there's an extra night of AEW.
Yeah, they're doing
late night Dynamite on Tuesday, and during the day is when they're going to drop Dark 53, and then Wednesday will be Dynamite. So hopefully Thursday or Friday we'll be able to do our episode 5 of
I actually have a
Wanna
light.
Wrestle.
I actually have a light work schedule this week. Yeah, this week. So.
So hopefully we'll get it in.
Mm-hmm.
I'm Daddy-O.
I'm the Wolf.
Wanna Wrestle?
We look forward to howling with you again next time.